So it's come to this, eh, Mr. Bond? The final round of Liar's Dice. A well-made choice of game, I do say. And you've put up a rousing game thus far.
I'm always arousing, Professor Miljaekobznik.
Indubitably, Mr. Bond. Undeniably. But I think I'll elect to make it a bit more interesting, Mr. Bond, by upping the ante. You see, while I was touring in Israel, I made a most peculiar acquaintance across the street from the American embassy, while having a double-shot espresso and frosted lemon loaf at Starbucks. A black-suited and be-sunglassed man by the name of Juarez. Now, I didn't question why he appeared to not be of any Latin descent whatsoever, or why he spoke in an American accent, or why he continuously glanced over his shoulder at an improperly parked bakery van, but nonetheless, I was curious about an irresistible offer he immediately made before, perchance, I'd hardly introduced myself. Missiles, Mr. Bond. Iranian cruise missiles, to be exact. Specially made to evade the Israeli Iron Dome and to target a failing, near totally unpopulated district of troublesome commercial zoning that has seen to some political gridlock concerning its potential demolition. So conveniently located just on the border of, and I most definitely must add, an already dangerous and frequently contested patch of ash and rubble recently conceded to Palestine. And, most currently, the site of a ramshackle de facto women's health clinic, / children's hospital, / autism and related disabilities center. Were these missiles launched evenly between each of the sites, then doubtlessly the IDF will proceed to justify several dozen bombings of their own abroad. And the Iranian armed forces shall paradoxically condemn it as a false flag while at the same time proudly claiming responsibility for it. Lose this next round, Mr. Bond, and I'll have no choice but to drive my heavily mounted 2006 Toyota Land Cruiser to the overlooking scenic vista, hand load said missiles, and proceed to make hundreds of innocent civilians, shall we say, go bye-bye in an epic kersplody.
You're a pawn of the intelligence community, Professor Miljaekobznik.
Is that so, Mr. Bond? Perhaps then you should have picked chess for us to play this fortuitous night. Assuredly so. No matter. I suppose only after you've seen all those women and children senselessly obliterated on the live CNN feed constantly played at maximum volume in my homosexual rape chambers, you'll understand that most certainly, in fact, I am far more fit as a king, and you, Mr. Bond, my lustfully obligated queen, as it were. Checkmate, Mr. Bond. It's time we rolled our dice.
Your shrewdness is matched only by your verbosity, Professor Miljaekobznik. But I warn you, mine is matched as well, only by the amount of times I've won this honest little game.
As sure as eggs is eggsingly, Mr. Bond. Have at you! Mr. Bond, your wager? Your wager, Mr. Bond?
5,000 sixes.
Preposterous assertion, Mr. Bond. For the game of Liar's Dice, as you know, allows only for an abject maximum of 5 dice per player. And given that only you and I are playing so far as this sitting is concerned, there can only possibly be no more than 10 dice available at any time whatsoever. In fact, I say, were there still somehow the allowance of such a quantity of dice to be legally rolled for a turn, the possibility of them all to simultaneously land on 6 would be an approximate 2.6 times 10 to the negative 3,884th power. A chance which is so astronomically low that it is, in any conventional sense, Effectively impossible. I call your bluff, Mr. Bond. Reveal to me your dice. You lose, Mr. Bond, as I had no less than expected. My cohort of child servants will be along shortly to accost and imprison you while I prepare my armaments. Farewell, old friend.
I fucking suck at this game.